morning, friends. Welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. It has been a while since we've been together. So I wanted to start, it's the new year. So I wanted to do a video where I kind of just offered a quick explanation of where I am with my life, where I've been for the past couple of months. And then you're just going to kind of hang out with me today. Today is not going to be any sort of instructional video, or I'm not really going to talk. I think I'm just going to bring you guys along and show you what I'm doing today. Yesterday was a snow day. So today is the day after a snow day, so I do need to go out and I do need to do some shoveling and all that fun stuff. But we're just gonna hang out at the house. So we're not gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna hang out at the house. I want to start some seeds. I'm making croissants. It's gonna be a good day. But where I've been for the past couple of months. So I haven't done a video since before Halloween, and it is January. So it's been a couple of months. So brief explanation. I was out of town in October, and when I was out of town, we had a family emergency, and I was rushed home. Here comes a cat. Hi, sir. Okay, I am talking to our friends, please. Hot dog. Okay. Thank you. So we had a family emergency, so I was rushed home to deal with the family emergency. Unfortunately, it did not end well, but it's been a couple of months, and we are healing. So in the middle of all of that, the day of like the worst day of the family emergency, the day that we had to say goodbye, my car was, I was getting news that my car was kaput. So I flew home for this emergency, and as I'm driving home, there's a couple of days in this time period, as I'm driving, my transmission started going out, and what my car was doing was it was stalling. It wasn't shifting, and so when I would pull out from a stop sign or something like that, like it wouldn't shift, and it would essentially like kind of stall, and it was putting me in dangerous situations where I would stall in front of another vehicle that was not prepared for me to stall. So I ended up, we looked into getting my transmission replaced. It wasn't feasible for my car. My car wasn't worth anything. It was paid off, which was fantastic, but it wasn't worth the cost to put a new transmission into it. So I ended up having to sell it and buy a new vehicle when I wasn't planning on doing that at all. Like, I wasn't at all in the thought process of selling and buying. So I had to do that, and that is a process. Like, right now shopping, I buy used, I don't buy new. I buy used, and shopping for used vehicles is hard. We went to a lot of dealerships, and every single one was absolutely packed, and everybody there was looking for the used vehicles. So like, it was like you're almost in like a battle with the rest of the world to get a used vehicle. So I was successful. I think I got a really good deal on a pickup truck. I'm really excited about it, really love it, but it was a stressful time. So then Thanksgiving, it was around Thanksgiving at this point. I had every intention, I even filmed a video, I had every intention of coming back, and I filmed a video intending to post it for Christmas, and the video was crap. I didn't like it. But I'll be honest, I've been really kind of suffering with what's going on in the world around us. I really pay attention to the news. I pay attention to everything going on in politics and in the world, and it was really kind of starting to affect me. Well, it's not starting to, it has been affecting me. I've really been changing my life in an effort to deal with what's going on in the rest of the world, you know? I'm stocking up on food in this house because I don't know what's happening, and I'm thinking things about money because I don't know what's happening, and it's all of this outside things I have no control over have been starting to like really affect kind of like my sleep, my well-being. Like, I've been kind of just down in the dumps, just to sum it up. I've been just kind of down in the dumps. So I decided, it's the new year, it's January, that we are going to get back into the habit of making YouTube videos, and we are not going to let the outside world affect us. There's absolutely nothing that I can do to affect the world around me, to change what's going on out there. So we're not going to let it affect me to the point that like I'm not living my best life. So we are back to doing YouTube, and we are back to living our best life. So because it's the new year, I really want to kind of start with like a resolution. And I think I do the same resolution every single year, but we're still trying to perfect it. I want to be more simple and I want to be more intentional with my peace. So I said that last year, I think, too. I want to, have that quiet time, have that peacefulness, have that relaxation time. But even more so this year, I noticed that. So I decided for the first time this year that I have no money, so this isn't happening, but I really want to buy a cabin. I'm somebody who has like $1 million dream in my head and no money to fund it. But what I realized is I really want a cabin because when I'm home, when I'm in this house, I don't allow myself to sit and relax. So when it's spring, summer, and fall, there's always stuff to do. There's weeds to be pulled, there's grass to be mowed, there's stuff to be canned, there's stuff to do. And it got to the point over the summer where I was experiencing a lot of burnout because I wasn't allowing myself to relax, and in my head, I tell myself, it's sunny outside. Why are you sitting on the couch? You need to go do something. And so I have a very strict rule that my TV in my living room does not go on until it's dark outside. I don't really get to sit and relax. I allow myself like an hour, like sit down and read for like an hour on your front porch. Like that's one thing. But other than that, like I don't do relaxing well. It's a problem. So I decided that this year I want to do that more intentionally. I want to really kind of focus on doing the fun things and relaxing. So for instance, I have a kayak. I love to kayak. I haven't taken my kayak out in easily 5 years, if not longer. So I really want to do that this year. I want to take the kayak out, and on like Sundays, I just want to relax. Take the kayak out, take the book, go fishing, just sit on the lake with whatever, your fishing rod or your book, and just kind of relax. And so I want to be more intentional this year with my work relaxation schedule, because I worked too hard. So that's why I want to buy a cabin, because if I'm at a cabin, I'm like all the work here is out of sight, out of mind, and at a cabin I can relax. But we don't have the money for a cabin, so I think the kayak and other ideas that I haven't thought of yet will have to work. But so that's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm kind of moving forward with this year, like being more intentional with my relaxation, with my peace, just kind of being simple and keeping everything kind of basic. So you're gonna hang out with me today, and we're just gonna have a simple day, and I'm really excited for it. So yesterday it snowed. Yesterday was a snow day, so I do need to go clean up some snow today. But we're gonna start some seeds today. I have all my flower seeds that I want to start. So for me, I know I grow all of my stuff in my basement. I have a seed starting room in my basement, and my basement is cooler than most places, and it's darker than most places. So my plants do need a little bit more of a head start when I start them in my basement. So I'm not starting any of my vegetables yet, but I am going to start some of my flowers, because I realized that my flowers take longer than what the packages say. Everything takes longer than what the packages say in my basement. So I have some flowers. I'm going to get started today. So I'm just going to bring you guys along and get them started. We're making sourdough croissants today. We're going to take some time to read. We're going to relax. We're going to drink our coffee. And we're just going to have a simple, relaxing day, because that's what this New Year is going to be all about. Simple, relaxing, and not letting the stress of anything get to us. So come along as we just have a really nice snow day. I have this really fun tradition during a snow day where I make croissants and I order pho or pho. I always say pho, and I don't know if people know what I'm saying, but pho. And it's just so fun. So croissants are like a full day process. I made this dough last night, and I spent most of this day kneading the dough, lamenting the dough, resting the dough,
So croissants take a really long time to make. So that's why I love to make them on snow days, because I have that time that I can dedicate to doing everything I need to do. And then I ended this day ordering some pho and watching just some good TV. And it's the perfect snow day for me. It was relaxing. It was lovely. It was nice. And it was just such a nice, quiet day.
Okay, I brought my seed stuff up to my kitchen. I'm going to start seeds in here because it is so cold in my basement that I don't want to hang out down there to start seeds. So we're just going to start some real quick flower seeds up here. I thought I'd show you what I'm doing real quick. I got a ton of flowers from, where did these come from? Botanical Interest. They had a sale over the summer. So I got a ton of these. And this is really what we're going to get started today. So I'm going to do a poppy double blend. Aren't they just so pretty? Impatiens. I've never grown impatiens. Feverfew is a really great medicinal herb. So I'm going to do that. Gomphrena. I started this last year and it did nothing for me, but we want to try again because I think that looks really pretty. I'm going to do all my poppies again. So I don't have any red poppies. I have the California poppy and I have the Fallen in Love poppy. California is orange and the Fallen in Love is like a really pretty pink with a white inside. So I'm going to start some red ones as well, but I'm going to start those again and I'm going to put them throughout the garden because I believe they're perennials. At least they're so far the perennializing for me. And well, now we have a hard winter. We didn't have a winter last year, so I'm wondering if that's why mine came back last year, because my California poppies are 2 years old. So I don't know if it's just because we didn't have a hard enough winter that they didn't get killed back, or if they are a perennial in my zone. But I'm gonna put them other places, so I'm gonna start them. And because the thing I like about them is they bloom all year, all summer long. They stop blooming in the really hot months like July and August, but I had poppies blooming in the spring and well into the fall. So I like that that's a constant pop of color. So we're gonna do a lot more of them. I have some Precoleus straw flowers. I've started these before. They've done nothing, so we're gonna try again. I've never done this Amaranth. Isn't it look so pretty? I have no idea where half these flowers are gonna go, but we're gonna do them. Listen, and then I have two hollyhocks that I think are gonna be really good. And these hollyhocks, so I don't know if all hollyhocks are biannual, meaning like, so I planted black hollyhocks this year. So this year they only grew leaves, or last year I guess they only grew leaves. This year they'll send up their flower. So some plants are biannuals. Both of these packets don't say anything about them being biannuals. So they may bloom this year, they may not. So we're gonna get them started. I need to buy, I haven't placed my seed order yet. I'm very late. I need to place my seed order. I don't have any begonias, so I need to order my begonias. And I'm out of geraniums too, so we're not starting begonias or geraniums today. I had these in my list and I'm gonna change these. I have 2 packets of sweet peas. They're really pretty, but they're very toxic. So I wanna grow them, but I'm not gonna start them inside. And even right now I have a garden kitty and I don't know that my garden kitty wouldn't eat them. So I don't know if I'm gonna grow them this year or not. So we're gonna put those to the side. If I grow them, I'll direct seed them outside, but I'm not gonna start them inside because my animals definitely eat plants inside. Okay, and then I'm doing a lot of my petunias. I don't even know what all petunias I have. I have some packet of petunias. I buy my petunias on Amazon, my petunias and my pansies for the most part because I can't find them anywhere else really. My eye itches. At Botanical Interest and Baker Creek, I think I bought everything that they had. I have Got the Blues pansy from Botanical Interest. I have Brush Strokes, which didn't do anything for me last year. Yellow Coronation Gold. And a Blue Velvet. None of these did anything for me last year, but we're going to try again. But I don't have a ton of I don't see a ton of options out there. So I do buy a lot of my petunias and stuff from Amazon. So they send them in these little packages that don't really say anything on them. Like this just has, the front just has plant instructions, and the back just says where flower plant seeds, and then it says petunia. It says petunia seeds, and that's it. So I don't really know what kind we got, but that's okay. We're gonna plant them, and then when they bloom, we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna do those today. I'm also gonna get started on my cosmos. I got a lot of cosmos, so I have some pink. This is the Sensation blend, which is very similar to the Seashells blend. Diablo, which is orange. A Candy Floss red. And then this Double Dutch Cosmo. And then, of course, the Apricot lemon. So I need to figure out, I'm not going to start all these cosmos, but I need to figure out which ones I want to start. And then these are a little bit cold hardier, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. These could honestly probably wait. I'm starting my flowers, like I said, a little early, but my basement is cold. So I think most of my flowers are going to be, I think I'm going to start them today. I think I'm going to leave them up here where it's a little bit warmer. I can heat my basement. I'm just not ready to heat my basement. Once it's time to start my peppers, which I'll start at the end of this month, then I'll heat the basement, and then these guys can go downstairs. But we're just going to get them started in the seeds, or start them in their soil right now. And then again, just, I know they're going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to be fine. So let me prop you up, and I'm going to get started. Okay, we got almost all of them started. I didn't start the straw flower or the amaranth. The amaranth said it has really sensitive roots. So I think I'm gonna direct seed both the amaranth and the straw flower. And then I also didn't start the cosmos or the nasturtiums. I am still really early. It's January 7th, so I'm really early, so I'm not worried about them. The thing with starting seeds early is you definitely can have, it's kind of a gamble, but what I like about starting seeds, like these flower seeds early, number one, I like growing plants. So I get to have plants growing, which is exciting. But then two, like if something doesn't grow or nothing grows, I can reseed. So there is a rule. You don't want to start, like right now, like I really want to start my tomatoes and my vegetables. You don't want to start them, like 100%. Things can get too big, they can get leggy. Things can go bad if you start them too early. But the one thing I always tell people is understand your growing conditions. So I'm going to keep these up here in my up part of the house for right now. They'll go down in the basement once I start my peppers at the end of the month. And then, like I said, I'll turn the heat on in the basement and it'll be warmer down there. I have heat mats, I have lights, I have the whole 9 yards. But for right now, we're just gonna leave them up here. And then what that means is because my house is a bit colder than ideal growing conditions, like when you look at the seed packets, the ideal growing conditions for most plants are between like 65 and 75 degrees. Things like peppers need actual heat mats to germinate. So there are requirements for seeds. And because my temperature is lower than what the ideal temperature is, things take longer to germinate and things take longer to grow for me. I typically start my pansies and my petunias back in like Halloween. I should have started them in Halloween, but I didn't. Because I have never been able to start pansies and petunias like right now and have flowers by spring. We're going to try again. We'll see how this goes. But that's why I started them earlier, because things do grow slower for me. So this is what I know works for me. And even now, like as I'm starting all these seeds, I'm like, oh my God, what if none of them grow? And that's always a possibility. Flower seeds, like these things, like petunias, pansies, let's see, I got some new things. Coleus, Gomphrena. I've not had luck with a lot of these things. So there is a chance that none of this does anything, which would suck. But we're gonna try. I have much better success with vegetables. And then too, like, if none of this works, by the time the end of January, early February rolls around and I'm starting to start my stuff, we can do another round of all this stuff. We can start everything again, and then we can put it downstairs with the warmed basement, with the heat lamps, with the heat mats, all that stuff, and kind of try again, do round 2. So this one here is all petunias, pansies, gomphrena, and my coleus. This is gonna go somewhere up here. Don't quite know where. This one actually requires a little bit of dark, so I'm gonna put the humidity cover on that, and I'm gonna put a blanket or a towel kind of like over the middle of it to help make it darker. Whereas I separated some plants out. This guy right here, this is light things. So I have impatiens, my poppies, my feverfew, my alyssum, and my hollyhocks all need light. So I'm gonna put them just under my normal table light. It's not gonna be light to help them grow. It's not the light that I want them to grow under, but it should be enough light just to help them germinate. So I'm gonna do that now.
On this day, we are kind of all over the place. We're getting a lot of things done, but these are the kind of days that I love. When you get those little tasks done. I kept my kitchen, or I cleaned my kitchen the day before this on the actual snow day. And then today we just kind of went through and we kept like cleaning. We kept doing deep cleans, cleaning the counters, making sure everything was just spotless and picked up. And we were really intentional with keeping the kitchen clean and organized. This was what I'm cleaning with. I started dehydrating lemons and oranges and limes because I'm really enjoying adding them into cocktails and into drinks. And so I dehydrated some lemons, and I took the ends of the lemons that I didn't use and I put them into some pint jars with some vinegar to make a really quick and easy, cleaner for my countertops. So I got to wash the countertops down, and then it smelled beautiful and citrusy when I was done. Now we're starting on my butter layer for my sourdough croissants. If you've never made croissants, I highly recommend it. I think they are so fun to make. I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert. You're going to have to stay till the end to see if I was successful with these or not. But croissants, whether you do the sourdough croissants or you do just regular yeast croissants, are super fun. I enjoy making them. And they're delicious. So this right here, what I'm doing is I'm making the butter layer. So I lay out all the butter, and then I roll it all together with a parchment paper and a rolling pin, and just kind of create one big butter layer, which croissants are known for their butter. So this is, in case you didn't know, this is how you make croissants. This is one step of many in how you make croissants. So I said this wasn't a tutorial on how to make sourdough croissants, and it's not. So I did do a sourdough croissant video before. Not successful in that video, but I could potentially do another video in the future. But those croissants looked gorgeous, and on the side you can actually see the layers and the lamention, I think that's how you say it, that I did with those croissants. And then while I was waiting for them to proof, I got hungry for no-bake cheesecakes. I had just watched Simple Live in Alaska, and she had just made some no-bake cheesecakes. So I decided that I wanted to do the same thing. I had cream cheese, I had heavy cream, and I had vanilla wafers, and that's all I needed to make these delicious no-bake cheesecake cups. And then I took some of my, I think I did strawberry jam. I took some of my jam and I ended up mixing it into the batter because I needed just a little bit more sweetness. And these are delicious. These took me 5 minutes to whip up, and they're absolutely delicious. One thing I do in the wintertime is I bake a ton of sourdough bread and I freeze it. So I made a rule. I think I'm going on at least 3 years. I might even be going on 4 years. I honestly don't know. I wish I had kept track, but I don't know. But I made a rule multiple years ago that one of the things that I would not buy anymore is bread, and I don't buy bread anymore. So I make all of my own bread. So I spend my winter making bread, putting it in the freezer. Bread freezes really, really well so that over the summertime I can have bread and I can pull from the freezer even in the wintertime. If I don't have the time to make bread, I can pull from the freezer and have fresh bread. So one of my favorite things is to have soup and paninis. So back there, I don't know if you can see it on the back counter, I have a crock pot going. I have a chicken carcass in there, and I made chicken broth this weekend. So again, I was very productive this weekend. So I had a big crock pot of chicken broth going. So I'm going to need to use that this week. I didn't feel like canning it, but I also decided I wanted paninis to go with that soup, and I am out of frozen bread. I don't have any frozen bread in the freezer, which is a big problem. So I am feeding my starter, and this is actually Tuesday, so this is 2 days later when I'm speaking right now versus when this video was shot, and I haven't used that starter yet. So unfortunately, I think I'm not going to make any bread until this weekend. The plan was to make it during the week, and that's just not happening. But anywho, I like to feed my starter on the weekends and make bread as often as possible, whether I want to eat it fresh or I want to put it in the freezer and freeze it for a later meal. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm feeding Stanley, and then I think off camera I strain all that chicken broth, get all the bones out, and put that in the fridge. And like I said, I didn't feel like canning it. Chicken broth, you need the pressure canner. I didn't feel like dragging it out for 3 quarts of chicken stock. So I need to make some sort of soup probably this week with that chicken broth. So if only I wasn't lazy and I actually made the bread that I intended to make. I will say it is hard. I work a full-time job. My work day is 9 hours a day. And so I'm gone from the house for a solid 10 and a half. So it does make baking sourdough in the middle of a week pretty difficult. I do have a recipe, and I do have it down to a science on how to make sourdough during the week, but I'm feeling lazy. I was productive this weekend, and now I'm feeling lazy. I just brought my croissants in from outside. Look how gorgeous they look. These look gorgeous. I am so excited. So now, before I put them in the oven, I need to make an egg wash. It is 7:30 in the evening, and I started these at 8 o'clock last night. So croissants are definitely a full day thing. Let me just do an egg white. So croissants are definitely a full day thing. This is only the 3rd time I've made croissants, period. And this is only the 2nd time I've made sourdough croissants. I made sourdough croissants. Hold on. I need my brush. I made sourdough croissants last year, and they were kind of a fail. They tasted delicious, but they did not rise like beautiful croissants. But these guys look really good. I'm really excited to see how good these guys bake up. I have high hopes. High hopes. And then I found, with this blog post, I found like other ways to make your croissants, like to do, what was it, the goat cheese and onion croissant. And there was another one that sounded really good. I forget what it was. It's stuffed with something. I forget what. Sounds delicious. The obvious one is Nutella. I'm not a big like Nutella person. I like savory, so I really liked the idea of like a goat cheese and onion one. That sounds delicious. So what I'm really excited for is just with these croissants and jam. But I was thinking today, so this was a full 24 hours. And today it was a lot of roll it out and let it cool, and roll it out and let it cool. And so like I know you have to do that because you want your butter to be ice cold.
But I feel like I can do this without as many hours in between. So we're gonna see if this is successful, and then I'm really hoping that I can play with this recipe and try to make faster croissants. Maybe not the prettiest, but not that it takes a full 24 hours of intense labor to make. But look at those guys. Look at you can see the lamination on it, the layers. I'm so excited. So we're putting these in the oven. So that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. So it was a really productive day. We got some things done. I did a lot of restocking on things. I fed Stanley. I still need to go. I'm going to go right now fill up my coffee container so I have fresh coffee tomorrow. I have yogurt out. I'm going to fill up my yogurt dish and get my jam for my yogurt parfait for tomorrow. So, but we've done a lot already today, and we got to relax. My parents came down for a little bit, and we hung out for a little bit. I got to watch some TV, which I don't do a lot of. I'm binge watching Supernatural, and that 70s show. And that 70s show is hysterical. Like, I watched it when I was growing up, and it was just like, so. And now, number one, I think it's hysterical. And number two, I kind of wish I was like Kitty. I feel like I wish I was like a mom in the 70s. I feel like I would do really well in the 70s now. I've become that hippie. Anywho, we also got to read a lot today. I didn't bring you guys along for that because who wants to watch me sitting on a couch? But I'm reading a really great book. It's The Vow of Thieves. And this is actually the second one called Dance of Thieves. I think it's a series called like the Regnant series, I think. I'm only the second book and I'm obsessed. So it's kind of like fantasy, which I'm not typically into. I am a massive Harry Potter nerd, but I'm typically not into like the fantasy kind of stuff. But this one I'm all about. So if you haven't read it and that sounds like something you might be into, highly recommend this book. It is fantastic. But I will end this video. I will show you guys the croissants when they come out of the oven. I'll let you know how they taste. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, friends. Happy New Year. Okay, the croissants came out and they smell amazing. I am going to add this part to the video though, because if somebody has any ideas, I would love help. So I remember this happened last time I made croissants. There's a ton of butter in that pan. And I know they have a lot of butter in croissants, but is it normal for the croissants to be sitting in melted butter? I don't know if that's normal. And then, so these croissants are not light. They are dense. And they look, honestly, they look undercooked. They look underbaked. And I remember this happened last time. I left them in longer and they never got like fully, what I thought was fully baked. They stayed underbaked, but then they just got like crunchy. If that makes any sense. So I baked them at 350 for 30 minutes. No, 375 for 30 minutes. So I have no idea, but I really want to see what this looks like. So like, not a raven success, but like really, really hot. But like, look how cute that little guy is. Like, isn't that like the cutest croissant? But he is hot and he is heavy. So I want to see. Yeah, I got nothing. He didn't bubble up at all. This happened last time too. And I don't know why. They're doughy. They're not done. I'm gonna put them back in the oven because they're not done. Okay, this video just keeps getting longer, but I put them in the oven for another, I think, 15 minutes. And they look so much better. So Let me bring you a close up, and then we're gonna break another one in half and see if it has any layers. Okay, is it just me, or do they really look so much better? Look at them. Okay, guys, if they're not layered on the inside, it's gonna be our little secret because those look fantastic. Okay, let me bring them onto my cookie sheet, and then we'll break one in half. Heavier than they need to be. And so I think what my problem was, and I don't know how to fix it, is your butter has to be just the right temperature. If it's too cold, it'll break off and melt. And if it's too warm, it'll form itself, it'll like mesh with the dough and it won't create layers. So my butter was definitely cold. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that it was cold. Oh, we already cut you in half. We already cut the pretty one in half. Okay. That's the only thing I can think of, is my butter was too cold. I have no idea. I guess we're just gonna keep trying. But like, super, super hot. Look at that cute little croissant. Oh my god. So cute. Okay. I know it's dense. But like, I'm like, that's not even the good one. Like, I think like this guy is the good one. Let me just turn him around. Like, come on. He's gorgeous. And they taste phenomenal. Okay, I'm gonna cut into this guy. I'm gonna burn all of my fingerprints off. Ugh. Oh, still very hot. Still doughy. When I made yeast sourdough, when I made yeast croissants, they worked much better. I didn't have near this problem. So, it's so hot. But it tastes really good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The inside is doughy. And I just don't know how to fix that. It's like it's not getting cooked the whole way on the inside, which I don't understand. Oh. I don't know, I'm eating it. It's really hot. But it still tastes good. So even though they're not like a massive success, I can't say that I have croissants down. And I wanted to shorten the whole croissant process, which I still think I could. I still think this process could be shortened. However, ow, it's really hot. I need help. So if you've made croissants before, and you can tell me what I'm doing wrong, I would greatly appreciate it. I know I didn't bring you guys along to the recipe, but any ideas you have would be fantastic. Okay. It is my bedtime. Oopsie. Okay. 5-second rule. It is my bedtime, but I'm gonna sit here and eat the really, really hot croissants because they taste delicious. Okay, this is my final send off. Bye friends, see you in the next video.